الله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وصحبه المنتجبين. السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله. The topic was Man al-Hussein. Who is Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam? And we said although Imam Hussein was not a prophet, but he was continuity of mission of all messengers of Allah. He was inheritor of Adam and Abraham, Noah, Moses and Jesus. And tonight we are talking about another part of this introduction, that Imam Hussein is the continuity of mission of his grandfather, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Who is Muhammad? He is Rasulullah, the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is Habibullah. He is a beloved friend of Allah. And he is Khatamun Nabiyyin, the seal of the prophets. That means he is the last messenger with the final message, the Holy Quran. Being Khatamun Nabiyyin does not mean that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, came to reject the previous prophet. He came to complete their mission, not to condemn, but to complete and also to correct if there was any changes in the message of the previous prophets, to correct it and put things in order. So completion and correction and continuation of the mission of the previous prophets was the main mission of our holy prophet. For that reason, the Quran says, آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه. He had faith in the teachings that were revealed to former prophets. He believed in their mission. And his mission, his personality, and his life were really a miracle. Muhammad, peace be upon him, was one of the miracles of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Jesus was a miracle, Moses was a miracle. These are the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his ambassadors on this earth. But the fact that Allah chose Muhammad, a person who was poor, a person who was orphan, a person who never went to any school. There wasn't any school in Arabia at that time. So how come Allah chose this person? أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى. You were yatim. We gave you shelter. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. You were like confused because no school, no guidance, no direction, and you were wandering. وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. You were faqir, you were poor. So poor, orphan, and without direction. Allah chose this person to be a father for humanity, a teacher for humanity, a leader for humanity. This was a miracle that Allah wants to tell us that is possible for him. Because if Allah had chosen one of the students or one of those big philosophers like Plato, for example, from Greece, to be the prophet, then everybody would say that, well, this is Plato's position. These are his words. But when he chose Prophet Muhammad, who never went to the school, is orphan, no support, then no one can say that this book is his book. Everyone knows that's impossible for a person in that situation to make a book like that. That must be Word of God. Because he couldn't write, he couldn't read at that time. How come he brought a book as his miracle? Another point in the Quran is that the mission of this prophet is very clear. What is the mission of the prophet? يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمْ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. Education, ethic, laws, and wisdom. These are the main points of mission of our holy prophet. That we get education, and we get moral and ethical, and we go with the laws, al-kitab, full of laws and regulations, and also we have wisdom. It's not only regulations, but also the wisdom and adjustment of rules and regulations. If you go through the life of this man from the time that he was a child, and then he's a teenager, and then he is a young man, and then he is 40-year-old, the time that in Jabal al-Nur he received revelation, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. He starts this religion with the message of اقرأ, read. And he said it 2 times. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم. 2 times. In the first address, 2 times he said اقرأ. That is the problem of 21st century. Ignorance is the cause of so many problems. You know, all these crimes and violence coming from people that are uneducated, and when there is no education, there is no job, then the person is poor. So poverty and ignorance are the causes of so many problems in this world. From downtown Detroit to Raqqa in Syria, to Mosul in Iraq, to everywhere those criminals are maneuvering in Lebanon or Pakistan, Afghanistan. Ignorance, poverty. And when there is ignorance, there is poverty, obviously. When you get educated, then you get job and you are not poor. So, started from Iqra. And this is the main mission of our Holy Prophet. But in Jabal al-Nur, he got the message, he goes home, he is tired, he decided to have some rest. But it's not time to rest anymore. The angel came back, Ya ayyuhal muddathir, qum fa'anzir, wake up, stand up and warn. Qum fa'anzir. This is an order to you and I as well. In 21st century, we have to do the same thing. Qum fa'anzir. Stand up and warn. Warn the world.
What is a muddathir?
Muddathir, because the Prophet has a blanket. You know, he had a garment over him, like a qumash, like a cover. He is laying down and he put a blanket on himself. And the angel comes and, oh, ya ayyuhal muddathir, oh person that you covered yourself with this blanket, take it out, wake up, stand up and warn. This is your mission, and this is your mission and my mission. فأنذر. And this continue from Jabal al-Nur, that cave that was the area of revelation, the first revelation. And then the Prophet is the object of so much persecution and torture and intimidation and threats, till the time that Laylatul Mabit, the night that the Prophet was ordered to leave Mecca because there was a more serious threat. People decided from all the tribes united to come in particular night and place to kill the Prophet. He received revelation, leave Mecca. That was Laylatul Mabit, and the sacrifice of Imam Ali, who accepted to stay in the house, so the enemies get confused. They know that somebody is in the house, Muhammad is in the house, so he take enough time to stay away, to walk away from the city, then they cannot reach him anymore. إِنَّ الَّذِي فَرَضَ عَلَيْكَ الْقُرْآنَ لَرَادُكَ إِلَى مَعَادٍ. He loved Mecca, he loved his city, but Allah promised him that at this time you have to leave, and there is going to be a time that you are coming back to your beloved city. So the first mission started from recitation of the Holy Quran, and then educating the community with the book, with the laws, with regulations, with wisdom. But the summary of everything that he said started from قُولُوا لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ تُفْلِحُونَ. If you are looking for salvation, Tawheed, monotheism, that there is only one single source of real power, real authority in this universe, one creator. That is the source of all the guidance and creation and provision and everything. And he is the only one who deserves your worship. Only one God. قُلْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ تُفْلِحُونَ. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. This is the idea of God. The idea of God in the Quran is قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. There is only one God and one authority. So if you want to worship, worship only one God. If you started worshiping the dunya, worship your desires, worship your position, your power, then you are not muwahhid anymore. You are not a person of La ilaha illallah anymore. Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. He is the light of the heavens and the earth. Then it comes to the social life. The Prophet said, Inna akramakum inda Allah atqakum. The priority, the importance of the people is based on their piety and their closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't depend on how much money you have, how much power you have, how big your house or your car is. These are material things that you enjoy it in your life, but that doesn't make you more important than somebody else. What makes you more important than somebody else, not in the eyes of the society, in the eyes of God, is your closeness and your piety to your Creator. This is at-taqwa. And then he said, Kunu qawwamina bil-qis. This is the continuity of message of Muhammad. That all of you, men, women, rich and poor, young and old, all of them stand together, be united, and work for justice, whether it is for you or against you. Just follow the principle of justice. Whether justice hurts you or helps you, doesn't matter. Sometimes you want to, support justice that may hurt your family. So what? That may help your enemies. So what? Justice is justice. That's for all. Doesn't matter that it matches your personal interest or not. And then his message to the Ummah, to the Muslims, is that إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. If you are believers, you are brothers. If you are not exercising brotherhood, then don't claim belief. If you are faithful, you have to be friends, and you have to be brothers and sisters in faith. And the responsibility of this brotherhood is that you cooperate with one another. تعاونوا على البر والتقوى. Means cooperation is based on piety, is not based on my interest or your interest or what our wishes or desires are. It depends on the righteousness. That is a cooperation based on the principles. Then the Prophet, peace be upon him, he talks about our relationship with non-Muslims. وَلْيَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ تَعَالَوْا إِلَى كَلِمَةٍ سَوَاءٍ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ. Let us, all of us, Muslims, non-Muslims, Christians, Jews, especially those who believe in God. Now there are some people who don't believe in God at all. They're atheists. There's a big number of them, unfortunately, all over. But those who have faith in one God, that faith in oneness of God is a link of unity among all the believers. So we can get united and work together based on the fact that we have faith in one Creator that gets us together and makes this relationship strong. But then the Prophet said that if somebody doesn't want to cooperate on this, he says, no, I don't care about your belief, and I'm going to continue my faith. He said, La ikrah fid din. Lakum dinukum waliya din. It's amazing, that's in the Quran. Lakum dinukum waliya din. Your religion is yours and mine is mine. That means that I'm not going to force you to be converted to my faith. I respect. And then he said that as a Muslim, the definition of a Muslim is the one who never tries to hurt anybody because somebody is not Muslim or somebody disagrees with you. Man salim an-nasu min yadihi wa lisanihi. This is the real definition of a Muslim. That the other people are safe from your tongue and they are safe from your hand. And you don't bite anybody with your tongue or your hand, and to backbite or have gossip or accuse someone. No. People are safe and secure from your tongue, from your expression, and from your actions. Then the Prophet talked about the family. You see, talk about the community of the faithful, and then about interfaith, and then about family. قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Protect your family from nar, from hell. Whether it's a hell of drugs, or it's alcohol, or it's a violence, or it's a bullying, other boys, or whatever this hell is, save your family. And he said that the best of you, the best people in the community are the ones who are best to their families. خيركم خيركم لأهله وأنا خيركم لأهلي. Family is a big issue now, a big question now. Unfortunately, so far 32 states in this country, they recognize same-sex marriage. And only God knows that how long it will take that this is recognized in the entire country. Based on one study, almost 80% of kids in Detroit are born out of wedlock. And what does that mean? that means poverty, that means then drugs, that means stealing, that means violence, that means no security. And all start from the failure and destruction in the family. So when we say that Al-Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam is Warith Muhammad Habibullah, he is the continuity of the mission of the Holy Prophet, you are talking about Tawheed, you are talking about community, you are talking about family, you are talking about the community of the believers, you are talking about justice, you are talking about piety. And all of a sudden Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he saw that all these values are going down. But it's only 50 years after the departure of the Holy Prophet. And all of these values of قُولُوا لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ تُفْلِحُوا إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ, stand all together for justice, save your family, all of these values are going down. And unfortunately, everybody is silent. The souls are sold. The people, they got blind, they are deaf, they are dumb, they cannot talk, they cannot hear, they cannot see. What is going on? It's only 50 years after the death of the Holy Prophet. And all the teachings and all the values, all the principles are collapsing. Somebody must stand up. And somebody must give life to those teachings and traditions and call for the same values. This is why Imam Hussein said, مَوْتٌ فِي عِزٍ خَيْرٌ مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ بِذُلْمٍ. In this case, I have to do it. This is a challenge. This is my struggle. This is the test. This is my mission. I must do it. I'm responsible. No matter what the cost might be, even if I die, I must do it. Well, some people, they try to be more conservative and give like advice. Yabna Rasulullah, is dangerous. You know, you are going to Kufa. Don't you know the people over there? You forgot what happened to your father in Kufa? You forgot what happened to your brother in Kufa? We don't care how many of them wrote letters. Thousands of letters. But you cannot trust. But Imam Hussein has a mission. He must do it. He must go. Obviously, he sent his ambassador, Muslim ibn Aqil, to go and to talk with people and check the situation. Muslim is already in Kufa, and you know that tonight our speakers are going to recite the majlis of Muslim ibn Aqil, and this is a very special night. When Muslim arrives in Kufa, there was like a big revolution. At least 12,000 people came right away and made a bay'ah. They expressed their allegiance to Muslim ibn Aqil. And now Muslims said, okay, it is time to go to Qasr al-Imara, when the governor of Yazid is located, and remove him from that palace. If you are waiting for Imam Hussein, and if you want him to come and to lead your society, we have to remove this cancer from the community of Islam. They said, okay, you are ready. They announced, and right away 4,000 people, they followed Muslim to go to Qasr al-Imara and put an end to the evil administration of Ibn Ziyad. And nobody, there is no army at this time in Kufa. In the palace, there are almost like 40, 50 people. It's Ibn Ziyad and his family, and you know, a group of that's guard for the palace, not too many people. So you have 4,000 people, and there are just 40, 50 people. It's so easy to get Ibn Ziyad out of Kufa. But he knew the psychology of people. He sent some spies and say, did you forget that the army of Sham is coming, and whoever cooperated with Muslim is going to be beheaded, and be aware of the danger. People got scared. You know, they have so much things like Daesh, how Daesh does. Like they say, you know, Daesh is coming, and they say, these are wuhush, they are barbarians. If they come, we are gone. Let's escape. And people were so, nervous, under stress, hearing these rumors. They, got confused. So after a while, out of these 4,000 people, they left only 300 Muslims looking around. What happened to thousands of people? Only 300 people left. It got to the time of prayer. They said, well, let's go and do our prayer and then continue this march. It was almost Maghrib. They went to the masjid. They did the Jama'ah. Muslim looked around and he said, he saw that only 30 people left out of those 300 people. As he continued for the second Salat and the Isha prayer is over, he is looking around, no one left. All are gone. My goodness, what happened to those at least 12,000 people that they said that we are ready? We are ready to fight, we are ready to sacrifice, we want Imam Hussein to come, and now all are gone. And Muslim doesn't have any place to go. And you know the story of Taw'a, that he went to the house of just by accident. He is tired, he is hungry, he is thirsty, and he saw that lady at the door and saying, who are you, what's going on? And he explained the situation, and she was kind enough to show some hospitality. But the spies of Ibn Ziyad, they realized the location of a Muslim. So Ibn Ziyad sent 70 soldiers. Now they got some new forces, and some people who are scared, they already joined the palace, and they show their support. And these 70 people coming to the area that Muslim is hidden in that house, and he left the place out of respect for the host, and the battle started. It's obvious that it's only Muslim, and then 70 people, and then some other ignorant from here and there, they heard that yes, somebody is, doing this, is a rebel against the government, this and that. Muslim felt that his victim, his target from all over, they are attacking him. And you know the rest of the story. When Muslim was beheaded in Qasr al-Imara, and his first host, Hani ibn Urwa, and they started dragging their bodies on the streets of Kufa to bring more intimidation and harassment to the people. And now this news is reaching to Imam Hussein that Muslim is gone and Hani ibn Urwa is gone, and situation is totally changed. But the determination of Imam Hussein, he left Mecca on the Tarwiyah, Yawm al-Tarwiyah, a day before Yawm al-Arafah. And as a matter of fact, Muslim ibn Aqil was killed on the 9th of the Hajjah, Yawm al-Arafah, a day before Eid al-Adha. In the eve of Eid al-Adha, Muslim ibn Aqil was killed in Kufa, but Imam Hussein alayhi salam continued his mission. What we learn from this story, brothers and sisters, is this, and this should be the biggest lesson that we learn from Imam Hussein, that when it comes to his faith, he sacrificed everything that he had for the sake of his faith. Really, this is the lesson of these 10 nights. Are we ready, as lovers of Imam Hussein, as followers of Imam Hussein, are we ever ready to do the same thing? Are we ready to sacrifice everything that we have for the sake of our faith? This is really a big question. And we have to reflect on that in our conscience, that how much are we ready to sacrifice for our faith, for our values, for our principles. Having Al-Imam Hussein, we shouldn't have any confusion. For you and I, there is no justification to live in darkness and confusion, because we have Al-Misbah. Imam Hussein is Misbah, right? Misbah al-Huda. When you have this light, you shouldn't live in darkness. Things are very, very clear. When you have a safina, Imam Hussein's safina to Najat, right? When you have a safina, an ark of salvation like Al-Hussein alayhi salam, there's no reason to sink in the ocean of doubt and darkness. There's no reason. Now, those who don't have Imam Hussein and they are confused, then we know. If there's ISIS or Al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda, Al-Taliban, all these criminals, because they don't have this misbah. They don't have this as-safina, they don't have this ark. And this is why they are embarrassing themselves more and more. They are sinking in the ocean of dirt and filth and evil and shaitan deeper and deeper and deeper every day, every night. Because they don't have direction. They don't have this. But we have no excuse. You and I, who know Imam Hussein and have this light, and especially we saying that يا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز فوزا عظيما. I wish I was with you, O Imam Hussein, to receive that salvation. So there is no confusion for us. I hope that as we go through the nights of Ashura, we learn how much are we ready to sacrifice for our principle, for our faith. Are we ready to qum fa'andar, to stand up and warn our community, warn our country, warn our political leaders, warn our Congress, warn the White House, warn the Middle East. This is the message that we need to do. This is not to just go and just cry for Imam Hussein and do the tatbir and, no. That's more than that. Yes, we get emotional, we cry for Imam Hussein. We do latmiyah. We do this in a loving and emotional way. But then there is rationality involved. That brings responsibility for us to follow Imam Hussein in his mission, sacrificing for the sake of our faith. I appreciate your patience, brothers and sisters, and we have now a wonderful message, a wonderful recitation from Sayyid Ali al-Hakim, who is coming to the podium. Inshallah, I think Hajj Naif told you already that the day of Ashura is going to be inshallah Monday. We are going to let you know exactly the time, but for a few more nights that we have here, please come, please support your masjid. Please continue the membership of the youth for the masjid. Our goal is that inshallah by the day of Ashura, we have at least 72 new members of the youth, the boys and girls, for the house of his brother Dawood has the membership. I don't want to take your time to push anybody to do such a thing, but if Imam Hussein did that much, that's the minimum that we can do to guarantee the future of this center of light and center of outreach, and make this the continuity of mission of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So continue to do and show that support. Now let us welcome Brother Sayyid Ali to the podium. بعد الصلوات على محمد وآل محمد.